Ladies and gentlemen, we gather here today to talk about something that at some point in life touches us all: the loss of a loved one. There is no heart in this world that has not or will not feel the weight of grief. It comes like an uninvited storm, shaking the foundations of our lives, leaving us with an emptiness we cannot seem to fill. If you have experienced this pain, you know how overwhelming it can be. The sadness, the questions, the longing for one more moment with them. These emotions can be heavy, and they can leave us feeling lost. When death comes, it feels like the world should stop, yet it doesn't. Everything around us continues. People go about their daily lives. The sun rises and sets, and time moves forward. But in our hearts, we feel frozen in that moment of loss, struggling to understand how life can carry on without the one we love. How do we move forward when the weight of sorrow feels too much to bear? How do we find hope in the midst of our mourning? Grief is a journey, not a destination. It is not something we get over, but something we learn to carry differently. At first, it feels like a crushing burden, but over time, if we allow it, grief transforms. It becomes something we weave into our lives, a part of our story, a part of who we are. And in that process, we come to see that love does not die with the body. Love remains. One of the greatest struggles we face after losing someone dear is the silence, the absence of their voice, their laughter, their presence. It can feel unbearable. We long for just one more conversation, one more embrace, one more chance to say the things we wish we had said. But the truth is, their presence is not truly gone. The love they gave, the lessons they taught, the way they touched our lives, those things do not vanish with death. They remain in our hearts, in our memories, in the way we continue to live. There are days when the pain feels unbearable, when the nights are long and the loneliness presses in. It may seem as though the sorrow will never lift, but we are not meant to carry grief alone. When we share our burdens with others, when we allow those around us to comfort and support us, the weight becomes lighter. Leaning on family, friends, and community can help us walk through the valley of sorrow. Many ask, why does God allow us to go through such pain? Why must we suffer loss? These are not easy questions, and sometimes there are no immediate answers. But one thing is certain: grief is not without purpose. Even in our darkest moments, there is hope. Even when we feel abandoned in our sorrow, we are never truly alone. I have seen countless people walk through the fire of loss, and though the pain never fully leaves, they find a way to keep living, to keep loving, to keep hoping. That is what we must do. We must remember that while death may separate us physically, it cannot erase the love we share. So how do we take another step forward? How do we keep going when everything in us wants to retreat into our sorrow? The answer is found in faith, in love, and in the memories that remain. We honor those we have lost not by dwelling in our pain, but by living in a way that reflects the love they gave us. We will continue this journey together. You are not alone in your grief, and as we walk through this together, we will find healing hope and the assurance that love never truly dies. Even as we carry the weight of loss, we must remember that grief is a reflection of love. The deeper the love, the deeper the sorrow when that love is seemingly taken from us. But my friends, love is not bound by time, nor is it bound by the fragile bodies in which we live. Love endures beyond this life, beyond the grave, beyond anything we can see or touch. Many of you have felt the ache of loss in ways that words cannot describe. Perhaps it was the passing of a parent, the one who raised you, guided you, and gave you strength. Perhaps it was a spouse, your partner in life, the one with whom you shared dreams, laughter, and years of memories. Or perhaps it was a child, a loss so deep that it feels unnatural, as if the order of life itself has been broken. No matter the relationship, the pain of separation is real, and it is profound. But hear me when I say this: death is not the end. Though we may not understand it fully, there is a greater plan beyond what we can see. This life is not all there is. If we were made only for this short existence, then grief would be an unbearable burden, an endless sorrow. But because we know there is more, we can face loss with hope. We can find peace even in our tears. That does not mean we will not feel pain. There will be days when memories come rushing back so vividly that it feels as though our hearts might break all over again. A familiar scent, a song on the radio, an old photograph. These things can stir our emotions in an instant. And that is okay. It is okay to grieve. It is okay to cry. Even the strongest among us feel the sting of loss. But in that grief, we must also remember to live. The ones we have lost would not want us to remain in sorrow forever. They would not want our lives to stop simply because theirs did. They would want us to find joy again, to continue the journey, to love those around us as fiercely as we loved them. So how do we move forward? How do we face each day when the weight of loss still lingers in our hearts? We start by taking one step at a time. We do not have to have all the answers. We do not have to pretend we are okay when we are not, but we do have to keep going. We must allow ourselves to remember not just the pain of their passing, but the beauty of their life, the laughter they brought, the wisdom they shared, the kindness they showed. These are the things that remain with us. They are not gone, not truly. They live on in the stories we tell, in the lessons we pass down, in the love we continue to give. Some of you may be struggling right now, wondering if you will ever feel whole again. Maybe the loss is fresh and the wound is still raw. Maybe years have passed, but the ache still lingers. I want you to know that healing is possible. Not a healing that erases the past, but one that allows you to carry the past with you in a way that brings peace instead of pain. We find that healing when we shift our focus from what we have lost to what we still have. We have the gift of memory. We have the people around us who still need our love and presence. We have the ability to honor those we have lost by living lives of purpose, kindness, and love. Grief is not a sign of weakness, nor is it something to be rushed. It is a process, a journey that each of us must walk in our own time. But no one walks it alone. There is comfort to be found in community, in faith, and in the assurance that our loved ones are not truly gone. We will continue this journey together, and as we do, we will discover that even in the face of loss, there is still hope. There is still love. There is still life to be lived. There will be moments when the pain of loss feels insurmountable, when the silence left behind by our loved ones echoes in our hearts, and when the weight of grief feels too much to bear. It is in these moments that we must remind ourselves we are not alone. Grief, in its deepest form, can feel isolating. It can make us withdraw from the world, from those who care about us, and even from life itself. But that is not what we are meant to do. We are meant to lean on one another, to find comfort in the embrace of a friend, in the words of encouragement from someone who understands, in the quiet presence of those who simply sit with us in our sorrow. There is a great temptation in the face of loss to shut down, to close ourselves off from love because we fear losing again. But love is worth the risk. Love is always worth the risk. The pain of losing someone we love is great, but it is only so because the love was great. And if love is the greatest thing we can experience in this life, then it is worth every tear, every ache, every longing for one more moment. Some of you may be asking, will the pain ever go away? The truth is, it changes. It does not disappear, but it transforms. In the beginning, grief feels like an open wound, raw and painful. But over time, though the scar remains, it becomes a part of who we are. And with that scar comes a reminder, not just of the loss, but of the love that was shared. We honor those we have lost, not by clinging to sorrow, but by carrying their legacy forward. What did they teach us? What kindness did they show? What wisdom did they share? These are the things that remain, the things we must continue. If your loved one was generous, let generosity be your way of honoring them. If they were kind, let kindness be your tribute. If they had faith, let your faith be strengthened by theirs. We do not move on from grief by forgetting. We move forward by remembering in a way that gives life, not just sorrow. There will be days when the longing returns with unexpected force. There will be birthdays, anniversaries, holidays that feel incomplete without them. These moments may bring tears, and that is okay, but they can also bring gratitude. Gratitude that we had the privilege of loving them, of knowing them, of sharing life with them. We must also allow ourselves to laugh again, to feel joy without guilt. It does not mean we have forgotten. It does not mean we love them any less. It means we are continuing the journey, carrying them with us in a different way. Some of you may feel like you will never recover, like the hole left in your heart is too great to be filled. But I tell you this, there is still purpose for you. There is still a life to be lived. There is still love to be given and received. Grief is not a sign that life is over. It is a sign that love was real, and that love, even in loss, can be a guiding light. We will continue this journey together with hope, with strength, and with the unshakable truth that love never truly dies. Even as we walk through the valley of grief, we must remind ourselves that we are still here. We are still breathing, still waking up each morning with the gift of another day. And though there may be times when we wish life had paused the moment our loved one left us, time does not stand still. It moves forward, and so must we. But moving forward does not mean leaving them behind. It does not mean forgetting. It means carrying them with us in a new way. It means allowing their memory to shape us, to guide us, to inspire us, to live a life that honors the love we shared. Some of you may feel guilt for what was left unsaid, guilt for moments of impatience, guilt for moving forward while they cannot. But let me tell you this. Your loved one would not want you to be burdened by guilt. They would want you to live, to laugh, to embrace the time you have been given. If they could speak to you now, what would they say? Would they want you to be bound by sorrow, unable to find joy in life again? Or would they want you to cherish the memories, to live fully, to love deeply, to continue the journey with courage? Grief does not have a timetable. It does not follow a set pattern. For some, the weight lifts sooner. For others, it lingers longer. And that is okay. There is no right way to grieve. There is only your way, your path through this season of loss. But in that path, do not walk alone. Reach out, speak their name, share your memories. Hold on to the people who remain, for they too are walking their own journey of loss. And in our shared grief, we find strength. We must also remember that loss changes us. We do not come out of grief the same as we were before. It reshapes us, refines us, deepens our understanding of love, of time, of what truly matters. And in that change, we find a new perspective, a new appreciation for life, for the people around us, for the moments that too often slip by unnoticed. So what do we do now? We honor them. We honor them by living, by loving, by being the kind of person they would be proud of. We honor them by sharing their story, by passing on their wisdom, by letting their love continue through us. And when the weight of loss feels heavy, when the nights feel too long and the days too empty, remember this: love does not end with death. It carries on in us, through us, and beyond us. We will continue this journey together, with hearts that grieve, but also with hearts that hope. For even in loss, there is love, and love never truly dies. There will be days when the sorrow comes unexpectedly, when a familiar scent, a song, or a passing thought brings their presence rushing back so vividly that it feels as if they are right there beside you. These moments can bring both comfort and pain, a reminder of what once was and what can no longer be. But do not push those moments away. Do not fear them. They are gifts, reminders that love is still present, that the bond you shared has not been broken. Instead of dwelling on the sadness of their absence, allow these moments to fill your heart with gratitude. Gratitude that you had the privilege of knowing them, of loving them, of sharing even a part of this journey together. Some of you may wonder if the ache will ever fully fade. The truth is, grief never completely disappears, but it changes. In time, it softens. It becomes something we learn to carry, something that becomes woven into the fabric of our lives. And while we may never stop missing them, we can learn to live in a way that honors their memory rather than being consumed by their absence. One of the hardest parts of losing someone we love is learning how to live in a world that feels different without them. The chair at the table is empty. Their laughter no longer fills the room. Their hand is no longer there to hold. And yet, life moves forward. The seasons change, the sun rises and sets, and we are left to figure out how to navigate a world where they are no longer physically present. But take heart, though they are no longer here in body, they are not truly gone. Their love, their influence, their impact remain. The lessons they taught you, the values they instilled, the kindness they showed, these things live on. And in living by those lessons, in sharing their kindness with others, we ensure that their legacy continues. If your loved one were here, what would they want for you? Would they want you to be trapped in sorrow, unable to move forward? Or would they want you to embrace the life still before you, to find joy again, to continue loving and living with purpose? It is not dishonoring to find joy again. It is not forgetting to laugh, to dream, to love once more. In fact, it is a tribute to the love you shared. It is a way of saying, because I was loved, I will continue to love. Because I was given the gift of their presence, I will honor them by living fully. And as you walk this path, know that you are not alone. Grief can feel isolating, as if no one else could possibly understand the depth of your pain. But the truth is, there are others who have walked this road, who have faced the darkness and found their way back to the light. Lean on them, share your story, allow yourself to be comforted, and in time you may find that you are able to comfort others as well. Even in the midst of sorrow, there is hope. Even in the pain of loss, there is love. And that love, strong, enduring, unbreakable, never truly dies. We will continue this journey together, step by step, with the assurance that even in the face of death, life and love still remain. There will be moments when grief comes like a tide, rising unexpectedly, threatening to pull you under. It may come in the quiet of the night when the world is still and memories flood your mind. It may come in the middle of the day when you see something that reminds you of them. In those moments, do not resist the sorrow. Let it wash over you, knowing that it will not consume you. Tears are not a sign of weakness. They are the evidence of a love so deep that it cannot simply disappear. Every tear shed is a testament to the bond you shared, to the memories that remain, to the life that touched yours in ways that can never be erased. But as surely as grief comes, so too does healing. Slowly, gently, in ways you may not even notice at first. One day, the weight of sorrow will not feel quite as heavy. One day, the laughter that once seemed impossible will return. One day, you will wake up and find that joy is not gone forever. It is still there, waiting to be embraced. Healing does not mean forgetting. It does not mean that the pain of loss is erased or that you will never feel sadness again. It simply means that the love remains, but the sharpness of the pain begins to dull. It means that instead of being paralyzed by loss, you find a way to live with it, to carry it in a way that honors the one you have lost. You may wonder how you can move forward when your heart still aches. The answer is this: one step at a time. There is no rush. There's no timeline for grief. But there is a promise that you do not have to walk this road alone. Surround yourself with those who understand. Seek out those who will listen, who will sit with you in your sorrow without trying to rush you through it. Lean on the love of friends, of family, of those who still walk this life with you. And above all, remember that grief is not the end of your story. It is a chapter, a one that will always be a part of you, but not the whole of your life. There are still new memories to be made, new joys to experience, new love to give. Your loved one would want you to live. They would want you to find happiness again, to embrace the time you have left with purpose and with passion. They would want their life to have meant something, not just in the time they were here, but in the way you continue to carry their love forward. So honor them, not by holding on to sorrow, but by choosing to live in a way that reflects the love they gave. Let their kindness inspire your own. Let their laughter remind you to find joy. Let their memory be a guiding light, not a shadow that darkens your days. Even in the depths of loss, life still calls. Love still endures. Hope still remains. And you, my dear friends, are still here for a reason. There is more to your story. There is more to your journey. And as you walk forward, step by step, you will find that love never truly leaves us. It carries on within us and beyond us in ways more powerful than we can imagine. We will continue this journey together, with hearts open to healing, with eyes lifted toward hope, and with the unshakable truth that love never truly dies. As we continue this journey, we must also understand that healing takes time. It is a gradual process, sometimes slow, sometimes overwhelming. You will have days when it feels as though you are taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and that's okay. That's a part of the journey. Grief isn't linear. It has its ups and downs, its twists and turns, but through it all, one thing remains constant: love. The love you shared with your loved one is not bound by time or circumstance. It is eternal, unwavering, and ever present. Grief can also bring with it a sense of questioning. Why did this happen? Why them? Why me? Why now? These questions are natural, and yet there are no easy answers. The mysteries of life and death can leave us feeling confused and disillusioned. We may never understand why certain things happen, why some lives are cut short, or why we must face such pain. But even in the uncertainty, we must remember that we do not walk this journey alone. When we grieve, we often feel isolated, as if we are the only ones who carry this weight. But there are others who have walked through the valley of loss, others who have faced the same questions, the same doubts, the same struggles. They too know the depths of sorrow and can offer the comfort of shared experience. In your grief, you will find that there is strength in numbers, in the community of those who have loved and lost and learned to keep going. While grief may leave us questioning the meaning of life and death, it can also draw us closer to what is truly important. The love we share with others, the relationships we build, the moments of connection that we sometimes take for granted, they all become more precious in the face of loss. Death has a way of sharpening our focus, reminding us that time is fleeting and that we must cherish each moment. If there is one thing we can learn from loss, it is the importance of love. It is not just the love we have for others, but the love we give to ourselves. We must allow ourselves the grace to grieve, to feel, to heal. We must not rush the process or judge ourselves for the pain we feel. Love is patient, and so must we be with ourselves during this time of mourning. Grief is a reminder of how deeply we are connected, not just to those we have lost, but to each other. It reminds us that we are not alone in this world. We are part of a greater whole, a community of people bound together by shared experiences, by the universal truths of love, loss, and hope. And as we heal, we begin to understand that love is not just something we receive, but something we give. It is something we continue to give even after our loved ones are gone. Their legacy lives on through us, through the kindness we show, the compassion we offer, and the love we continue to share with others. Let your grief be the soil in which love grows. Let it be the seed that blooms into a deeper understanding of what truly matters. The relationships we build, the lives we touch, the love we leave behind. Grief does not erase the good that we have experienced. It does not undo the beauty that was once part of our lives. Instead, it deepens our appreciation for all that we have been given and encourages us to carry that love forward. As you walk through your grief, remember that healing comes not by avoiding the pain, but by embracing it, by allowing yourself to feel, to remember, and to heal. One day you will find that the sorrow that once consumed you will no longer hold the same power, and though you will always carry the love you shared, you will also find joy, hope, and a renewed sense of purpose. We will continue this journey together with hearts full of love, with eyes set on the future, and with the unshakable knowledge that love in its purest form endures beyond death. As we continue forward in this journey of grief, let us not forget that grief itself is a form of love. In grieving, we acknowledge the depth of what was lost, but we also affirm that what we had was precious beyond words. It is in the act of grieving that we honor the love that once was. We may not understand why the loss occurred, but we do know that it was not in vain. The love we shared with those who have passed is a treasure, something that will continue to shape us for the rest of our lives. We also must be mindful not to let grief consume us. It is natural to feel lost, to feel broken, but it is important to allow ourselves the space to heal. Healing does not mean forgetting. It means learning to live with the pain in a way that does not define us. The memories, the love, the lessons they gave us, these are not things to be left behind. Rather, they are gifts that we carry with us, shaping who we are, what we value, and how we move forward. And in moving forward, we do not move away from our loved ones. We carry them with us. Their love, their wisdom, and their spirit continue to live in us. We become their living legacy. We are the ones who can share their story, carry on their work, and spread the love they gave us. In that way, they are never truly gone. Their impact endures in everything we do, in how we live, in the choices we make, and in the way we love others. Grief is not a burden we are meant to bear alone. It is a journey that we can walk together. In our vulnerability, in our shared pain, we find strength. In opening our hearts to one another, we find healing. When we share our grief, we are reminded that it is not a solitary path, it is a collective experience, one that connects us all. Grief may always be a part of us, but it will no longer dominate us. We will find new joy, new purpose, and new meaning in life. The death of a loved one is a profound event that alters our lives forever, but it does not have to define us. What defines us is how we respond to loss. Will we choose to be consumed by grief, or will we choose to live in honor of those we have lost? Will we let our sorrow define our future, or will we let the love we shared guide us to a place of healing and hope? We can find strength in the memories, in the love we shared, and in the knowledge that we are not alone. As we grieve, we find hope not in the absence of sorrow, but in the presence of love. We find strength not in avoiding the pain, but in allowing ourselves to feel it and move through it. And in time, we find that the pain, while never truly gone, becomes something we can live with. It no longer defines us, but becomes a part of the fabric of who we are. We continue this journey not with the expectation of forgetting or moving on, but with the understanding that love never truly dies. It continues in us, through us, and in the world around us. The love that was once shared with us is never lost, but rather it is transformed into something that we carry forward. Let this be a reminder to all who grieve. While the physical presence of our loved ones may be gone, the essence of who they were lives on. The love they gave, the lessons they imparted, and the memories they created with us are part of the fabric of our lives. And as we continue on this path of grief, we do so not alone, but with the strength of their love surrounding us, guiding us, and reminding us that, though they are gone, they are never truly lost. We will continue this journey together, not in the absence of sorrow, but in the presence of hope, and in the unbreakable truth that love transcends all things. As we walk this path, let us also understand that healing does not happen in a straight line. There will be setbacks, days when grief feels overwhelming, moments when we are reminded of the emptiness left behind. But even in those moments, know that healing is happening. Even when it feels like we are not making progress, we are moving forward, bit by bit, step by step. Each day, each moment, we choose to live, to love, to breathe. This is progress. And in this journey, we must hold on to one of the greatest truths of all, that life in all its beauty and pain is a gift. The love we have experienced, both given and received, remains the truest, most enduring gift we can carry forward. It is not defined by the ending, but by what it has created in us. Your loved ones would want you to live, to continue to embrace the beauty of life, to cherish the moments you still have, and to hold tightly to the love that remains. And though they may no longer walk beside you physically, their presence, their memory, and their love will always guide you. Their love is not gone, it has simply transformed. It is within you, woven into the very fabric of your being. This grief, as deep and as painful as it may be, will one day make way for a new understanding, a new peace. As time passes, the sharpness of the pain will fade, but the love will remain. And in that love, you will find strength. You will find courage to face another day, another challenge, another joy. You will find a reason to live, a reason to hope, and a reason to believe in the beauty of life once more. So, as you move forward, carry the love of those you have lost with you. Let it inspire you, strengthen you, and guide you. And know that as you continue, you are never alone. You are surrounded by the love of those who've gone before and by the love of those who walk beside you now. And in this love, there is healing. We may never understand why certain things happen, why loss comes when it does, or why we must endure such pain, but we can find comfort in knowing that love is the answer to all our questions. Love, in the end, is the only thing that matters, and love, even in death, does not fade. It endures. So, my dear friends, let us continue this journey together, with grief in our hearts, yes, but also with hope, with sorrow, but also with joy, and with the unshakable conviction that love is the greatest gift we will ever know, and that love above all never dies.